All right, you guys know what you're getting in store for this one. The 2025 NFL Draft Prospect Profile of the Day, Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State, Mountain West Conference, elite competition he faced, correct? Well, he did face a couple of tough teams. But Ashton Jeanty on the year led almost every statistical category. You look at that: first, fifth, first in yards, fifth in yards per attempt, first in offense grade, first in running grade, first in yards after contact, first in yards after contact per attempt, first in elusiveness grading. He is the real frickin' deal, correct? Well, I'm not completely sold on him, but more importantly, even if you're sold that he's the number one running back prospect in this class, running back is not the Bears' biggest need. It's not their greatest need, or are we even close to being in a position where our trenches are built up, where we have the weapons we need to be able to go out and get an Ashton Jeanty type of player. On top of that, the running back class is so freaking stacked and deep in this class. The 14th best running back in this class would serve the Bears plenty well to do what they need to do when we need to address other needs first. Now, I think the Bears can go after one of the top running backs in this class and still be okay. Get them with the second round 39th pick or the second round 41st pick. Even wait till the third round 72nd pick overall and address their needs. But I do not have Ashton Jeanty as a top-ranked talent in this draft in the top 10 like many do. You can see here, Draft Buzz has him as second, 33rd team has him as third, NFL.com third, ESPN fourth, PFF fifth, Mock Draft Database at 10th, PFN 10th, Sports Illustrated at 12th, DraftNet at 17th, and CBS at 19th. I've got him between 15 and 19 overall on overall talent for this draft. I see some clear flaws and weaknesses. I know you guys are going to pick me apart and say, well, Adam, you're being too critical. The reality is I've watched all the tape. The Omarion Hamptons, the Caleb Johnsons, the Travion Hendersons. I've seen them with special abilities that I'm not seeing in Ashton Jeanty. I'll get to that in some of the tape. And the tape won't be normal like I'm doing other tape on other people. I'm going to take it straight to Twitter on this one and show some things from there, because I'm not sold on Ashton Jeanty. I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm going to go ahead and pound the table and say this would be the wrong pick for the Chicago Bears. I will stand behind that analysis. I do not think the Bears will take him, and I do not think he will be the best running back in this draft class. He had a spectacular, phenomenal college career. Props to him. Good job, Ashton Jeanty. Proud of you. You were a Heisman finalist. You did a good job in college. You played some low-level competition. You ran through some Mack truck-style holes. But you don't have the lateral agility, the juke steps. You are not Sweetness. I see people comparing him to Sweetness or Barry Sanders. It's not even close to comparison when you put them on tape. Not even close. He is more like Leonard Fournette. He can run people over. He's gonna pull forward. He's gonna run downhill. He's gonna pull forward for those 4-ish yards forward. He's going to go ahead and do that for you in the NFL. He's not going to get 7 yards per attempt, but he could get the 4.5 yards per attempt, which would be a good NFL career. Worth taking at number 10? Not what the Bears needs. There's not enough we can do in free agency or the draft to compensate for taking Ashton Jeanty number 10 overall. So you can see here I've got him between 15-ish and 19 overall. Let me get to the tape for you guys. Just let's do something a little different here. All right, so I'm going to do something a little bit different here for Ashton Jeanty than I do for some of the other prospects, because you guys have all seen all the tape on Ashton Jeanty before. You've seen all the huge plays, the runs, the broken tackles. You've seen all that.
Chicago Bears sitting pretty nice at 10.
Hey, y'all hear that, Chicago Bears?
I think that might be a nice destination as well, but any team that would pick me in the top 10, that would work.
Yeah. There he is saying he'd be happy to go to the Bears just very shortly after saying he doesn't want to play in the cold. Look, I'm not trying to hate on Ashton Jeanty. I'm going to give you a very realistic look at this kid, because it's clear if you've dissected him and analyzed and looked at all the tape as deeply as I have. Ashton Jeanty played in the Mountain West Conference. There's a good broken tackle. There's a good bounce. Look at the low level of competition that didn't wrap up on him. He breaks arm tackles Now, I'm not saying there's not good tape, and I'm not saying he won't be the number one running back off the board in this draft. He will be. I do not believe, and I would put money on it, that he will not be the best rookie running back this year in the NFL. It'll either be Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, or somebody nobody's even looking at. He's not going to be it. There's so many times where he has weak competition that he bounces off, that he breaks an arm tackle that doesn't look like elite competition. And there's other times where he has Mack truck-sized holes opened up for him that he doesn't have to do anything but run through the hole. He runs people over. He is a strong, bruising, empowering running back. Absolutely. What he's doing at the college level against Idaho and San Jose State and Fresno State and Utah State, I mean, what he's doing against these guys, and then people will pull up, well, look at the Oregon game. Yeah, look at the Oregon game. I want you to go back and look at that Oregon game. Boise game planned very early in the season in a way that Oregon wasn't prepared for. The offensive line was more of the big thing in that game than Ashton Jeanty was. There were Mack truck-sized holes in that game. Boise State came prepared because of a good coach and the offensive line executing. So we'll roll through some of this stuff here. This is against Air Force. This is a good catch. He's a good receiving back, and he's a good blocking back. Again, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to go high in the draft. It is malpractice if the Bears take him at number 10 overall. There's no excuse for taking him with how deep this running back class is. With all the other running backs, Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins, Cam Scattaboo. I mean, really, as you get even down to the 20th running back in this class, there's not a sizable difference in the talent level between Ashton Jeanty and them. Nobody's going to agree with what I just said, but I'm going to stick by it. Let's run by some of these. All right, here we go. Good broken arm tackle there against Utah State. He's powerful. He is a powerful back. Oh, get out of the way here. This is against Oregon. No wrap up. This is not something special he's doing. So, he's powerful. He can bounce off a tackle. He can run a couple guys over, but the 7 yards per gain that he's getting right now at the college level, he's not going to get in the NFL level. He doesn't squeeze through holes like Travion Henderson does. He doesn't see a hole like Omarion Hampton does. He doesn't. It's just not the same playing against lower level competition. The only challenge he had was Oregon this year, and they played him so early on. I just don't. This is against Georgia Southern. I'm sorry. He's got decent speed too. I mean, he's right around 4.40, so he's got good burst of speed. Show a couple highlights here. I was just going to replay. Big hole. Nothing to do there to sidestep. No lateral agility needed. I know, I do sound very negative, guys, but some people realize this too. Ashton Jeanty, when he finally plays a real defense, he is not generational. He is not. I've looked at a lot of running backs. I've looked at a lot of players. This is Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson is someone to watch. This is from me. I'll go toe-to-toe with any Bears fan and guarantee you there's a better chance of the Bears drafting Tyler Warren over Ashton Jeanty. I don't believe either will be the pick, but Tyler Warren makes 100% more sense than Jeanty with the depth of running backs in this year's draft class. Another one for me, the common fan who doesn't understand free agency cap space in the draft are the ones calling for the Bears to draft Ashton Jeanty in the first round. You'll see a few from me because same thing I'm spewing here now to you guys. I know you guys, you take what I'm saying as hate. It's not hate. It's trying to be very realistic about the situation and who this running back is. We've seen this before. Rashad Penny came from the Mountain West, did very well in the NFL. He wasn't worth a top pick. I've said over and over again, Ashton Jeanty is similar to me as Oh. Leonard Fournette went 4th overall in the draft. Had some good years. 1,000-yard rusher. But not dominant elite where you have to take him because he's generational. This is me being satire, sarcastic. Should the Bears draft Ashton Jeanty because Will Shipley just had a 57-yard run? Sounds like the solid Chicago Bears logic to me. 57-yard run, so we need to take Ashton Jeanty, right? Nice little hole there against Wyoming. Against Wyoming. I don't know. I really would have liked to have seen Ashton Jeanty play a full year in the SEC and see what he did. I think he'd have decent numbers, not 7 yards per carry, probably 4.5. He'd probably be the 5th or 6th ranked running back on the big board right now. That's probably realistic of where he would be. So I'll just scroll you. This is not the normal thing I do to show highlights. Travion Henderson greater than Ashton Jeanty. I mean, look at that hole. There's nothing for him to do there in that championship game but just run. He didn't have to sidestep. He didn't hurdle anybody. He didn't have to blow anybody over. You'll see most of the stuff he does is run through a giant semi-sized hole or break an arm tackle because they're not. He's playing low-level competition, so they're not tackler. They're not wrapping him up. Giant hole. Good job, offensive line. So here we are. Rashad Penny, you see here in the, whatever this was, 2017, or I don't remember what year Baker Mayfield came out, 2008, 17? Anyways, this is the Heisman voting there. Rashad Penny from San Diego State. Very similar stat line to Ashton Jeanty. Almost identical, just less carries. Ashton Jeanty got a huge workload. Get a lot more attempts and a lot more yards, you're going to get those, so. It's a very polarizing thing to witness. It is polarizing to watch this whole conversation about Ashton Jeanty because people look at these stats and they look at these yards after contact and they look at this and they're sold on him and they're sold that this is what we have to do because he's generational. We've seen generational come through before, but usually that happens against real competition. Ashton Jeanty hasn't had real competition. Here's one where I said I'm taking Dylan Sampson, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scattergood, R.J. Harvey, and Devin Neal. Whoever is there in the 4th round, and in that order before I would ever consider taking Ashton Jeanty in the 1st or 2nd round. Watch this one against Wyoming. Oh, same one we saw before. Big old hole. I am not sold, guys. Not sold at all on this prospect. Ooh, well, that's Cam Scattergood. Rumbling and bumbling and bumbling and rumbling. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think about Ashton Jeanty. It is a very polarizing thing for Bears fans. Absolutely polarizing to watch this debate about Ashton Jeanty. I think it's malpractice for the Bears to, this is funny, when Caleb leads the league in sacks again, our D-line creates 0 pressure and we're 7-10, but at least Ashton Jeanty hit a cool juke move, even though he can't juke. It is polarizing, but it's malpractice if we take a running back in the 1st round over all the, I mean, with the extremely loaded defensive line class, James Pierce, Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, this is not Ashton. Saquon Barkley is nothing like Ashton Jeanty. Saquon Barkley is such lateral agility, such a burst away. I mean, it's just so different. We do have Ian Wheeler, something to consider. Even Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant, so many good prospects in this 1st round. If you pass up on one of these defensive linemen for a running back when this running back class is so deep, I might lose it, guy. I seriously might lose it if the Bears do that. Oof. It would be tough for me to swallow that one. Wrap up. Wrap up. Washington State. What a joke. First, you cannot address free agency enough to cover the O-line and D-line to justify drafting Ashton Jeanty. Second, Ashton Jeanty isn't even the best NFL running back prospect in this draft. His lateral movement will not translate to the NFL. His speed, size is not elite. Stand by it, guys. I stand by it 100%. Look, I did all the draft analysis on Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, all these guys. I did all that, and you guys saw it last year, and you've seen that come to fruition. And the biggest thing I said is Jaden Daniels is the most NFL ready, and he'll have the best rookie season. I said that. Here we stand. Here we stand. I do think, by the way, since I threw that out there, I do think Caleb will have the best career in the long run, but it's going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to coaching and how they assemble around him. So, anyways. Sorry, dragging this one out just a little bit, but you guys have seen the highlights on him. I'm not sold, as you know. Big old hole there. Way to go. That's not even him. That's Brashard Smith. No, he is not the next Marshawn Lynch. That's not even close. All right, guys. Big old hole. Way to go, Ashton Jeanty. Big old hole. Let me know what you guys think on this one. Look, I don't take lightly, that I have the ability to sit here and give my perspective to you guys. Keep that in mind. You are absolutely able to have your own perspective, thoughts, ideas, feelings, rankings, wherever you want to put these different players. I've watched so much freaking film. I've watched him live in person. I've watched all the running backs on film, and I'm just not convinced that Ashton Jeanty. I would say the same thing about Omarion Hampton or Caleb Johnson or Travion Henderson is worth taking at number 10 overall. I am just not convinced that there is a running back in this class that's worth taking at number 10. Ashton Jeanty is a strong, forward, downhill running back that will be fine in the NFL. Not worth it at number 10, period. Point blank. So I take seriously my responsibility to give you guys my opinion, and that's it. You might like Ashton Jeanty. I'm not in love with Ashton Jeanty. In fact, I don't think he will be the best running back in this class. I think he will be the first one to come off the board. I think he will go in the first round. If it happens to be the Bears, I'm going to be upset. I will be upset. My live stream will not be a fun live stream. It won't be fun. I will not be happy if the Bears select Ashton Jeanty. I don't get too upset with any pick the Bears take. I think there's a method to the madness, but I truly don't believe Ryan Poles would be stupid enough to take Ashton Jeanty in the first round. That's my take. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like button if you don't mind. Subscribe if you haven't done that by now. Or maybe you hate me now because of my take on Ashton Jeanty. But I'm not going to pander to the media, to the mainstream. I'm not going to do what's popular just because everyone thinks this guy is going to be generational. I'm not there with him. So I'm not going to pander that way. I'm going to give you guys my realistic take, and hopefully you guys enjoy it for that reason. Till next time, the Bears, and bear down.